The Bumblebee is the most insane broken build in Armored Core 6. It will absolutely obliterate anybody else in 1v1 duels. And this build mostly uses stun guns as well as a constant shield to be able to deal steady damage without ever getting staggered yourself. Now this build is extremely effective against the corny Zimmerman builds. Now I didn't invent this build myself. All credits go to this YouTuber called Mindir, and go check out his channel. The link will be in the description. He was able to curb stomp the big time YouTuber PvPer Ouroboros with this build during a live stream. It's actually pretty funny. And there is literally nothing that Ouroboros could do.
What the fuck?
Now Mindir, the way he did it was extremely efficient. He's probably a way better player than me, but I realized that he was leaving one weapon slot completely open. So this build has room for improvement, and today I want to bring you just that. So this is the way the build looks like. I'll have a share code in the description, but if you're on another platform, you're gonna want the VP66 as weapons on both hands. Now the way Mindir had it was nothing on the right back shoulder, but we're gonna add something in just a moment. Very important, you're gonna want to use the coral shield, as it's going to block a lot of damage and you're gonna use it to parry attacks. Now for the head, use the Mind Beta. The core is going to be the Basho. It has a lot of health. And for the arms, it's really important you want to use the Tian Qiang arms because they have a really good recoil control. And then for the legs, you use the Basho as well. Now the booster, you're going to use the BST G2. And the FCS, really important you use Oculus because you will be hitting at very close range. And for the generator, you're gonna use the better of the coral generators because since it has so much energy, it actually gives you a bigger energy shield when you use pulse armor. Now, usually people always use assault armor or even the last chance armor, but in this build, you're gonna wanna use pulse armor because as soon as your shield runs out and you're building some stagger gauge, you wanna activate pulse armor. That way you're once again invulnerable, and then they have to take down that shield. By the time that shield is down, your other shield is going back up. Honestly, it's a really broken build. I've tried it for about 30 games and I won every single one of them, and some of them I didn't even take more than 10% damage. It's honestly mind-blowing how crazy this build is. And the reason why is because you're going to be constantly firing your two hand weapons, the little tasers, and the bullet orbit. All you need to do is activate it once, it'll follow you, and as long as you're locked on and close enough to the opponent, it's going to be adding constant damage and build up to the stagger bar. Mindir's build was nearly perfect, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but this is just the cherry on top that makes the fight even easier. Because if you're a pro, for sure, you might not need it, but for the average player, just having that little extra damage, it does a huge difference. So in the background, you can see the footage. I'm never dropping under 50%, and using the shield at the right time is also crucial. Just before a Zimmerman hit, you activate the coral shield. It will absorb most of the damage and almost all of the stagger. So in this way, you will never get staggered if you use this build properly. So that's it for the video. The share code will be in the description if you're on PS5. If not, just pause the video when I was showing the items and then you'll be able to get the exact parts. This build is a whole lot of fun. That's the most fun I've had in PvP so far. Being able to stomp every single enemy without barely taking any damage is surely hilarious. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you guys on the next video.